All right, guys, how we doing? It is, 6:45, and it's dark out, which is a little weird. I will tell you that. It's weird. It's so weird. I hate daylight savings time, don't you? I don't like daylight savings time at all. But anyway, it's been a couple weeks since, actually it might have been like 3 or 4 weeks since I did the last state of Syslo. And so I thought it was important to kind of come back in, say what's up, give you guys a little rundown of what's happening. Tomorrow's election day here in the United States, if those of you follow or out of the US. But it's been an interesting few weeks. We had a really great month. We've been trending up for the last 90 days as far as sales and marketing and all that stuff is concerned. Production's at the highest ever. We just brought on an appointment center. I was in Connecticut, then Miami, then I was in Austin, then I was in Dallas, then I had another shoot in Miami, and then I did Baltimore. So there was a lot of shoots going on last month, and I moved back onto the ocean, which is great. But I really just wanted to talk about kind of where we are. It's November now. It's been a really, really trying year for myself. A lot of it was rough, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it was pretty tough with what we had going on, but we also were able to kind of come around the corner and I would say get everything into a super, super stable position. Sorry, I'm working out the lighting, so if the lighting's not like perfect, it's because I haven't quite, it's the first video I've done. But some of the things that I wanted to talk about today really come down to like where am I going and what am I doing? And what's the point of all this? You know, I come from a world of really high entrepreneur action, a lot of high entrepreneur business, a lot of high entrepreneur things that are going on. And it's been an interesting kind of year for me to really understand like, okay, where am I going with my business? What's my role here? What's the direction I'm trying to take with my company? And where am I in the grand scheme of all the entrepreneurs that are out there that are trying to do 100 different things, or they have 100 different ideas, or they're trying to do something different, right? So what I ultimately came back to was, number one, I changed my whole schedule around. So I started getting up early and working out in the mornings. That was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was I really just focused in on the basics and then really making sure that our speed at which we, sorry, let me just tap my face here. The speed at which we delivered things were getting done fast. And then I thought about like, okay, do I want to go speak on stage? What do I want to be? Like, who am I in this grand scheme of life? Because I'm always hanging around entrepreneurs. They want to be big people, and entrepreneurs are big people. I've worked for big entrepreneurs. I've been a part of that life where everybody's kind of like vying to try to be the best guy out there. And with all the assault that's going on with content marketing today, I thought it was important to kind of just comment on that idea of like, oh, this, like, where are you in this? And how does this work? And should you feel like, I started to feel really kind of like introverted because there's just I was getting ads from ad agencies advertising to me. And I'm like, I don't understand why I'm being advertised ad agencies to. And there's so much of that going on right now. It's like, okay, how do you decipher what is real, what is not, and your place in that? And so that's what this episode's about. It's like, what does that look like? So I'm just going to give you what I kind of thought about over the last months or so, and what I observed with all that, because it's been it's been kind of interesting. So for me, I just kind of kept it really like, okay, I'm going to make my business the best it is. I'm going to make my sales calls really effective. I'm going to make my service really effective. And I'm not going to pay attention to all of the noise and all of the ads from other ad agencies out there and other things and everybody telling me that I need to do this and do that. I'm just going to go with what I know and trust myself on this one. And when I made that decision to just kind of say, I'm going to walk this path, I don't know if this path is going to end up where I want it to go, but at least I'm going to make a decision that's going to give me more peace of mind at the end of the night. I mean, I was staying up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, unable to sleep because I was so distraught over what I was seeing from other advertisers, what I was seeing out there in the marketplace. And I'm like, these are people they're not operators. They don't run businesses. They're influencers who think they discovered something, but they don't run a company. Like, they don't have a system. They don't have a process. They're one person. I've got 15, 16 people right now, and I can tell you it's a process. I see ads about people saying they're burnt out from running their agencies. And I can totally understand that. But I believe, and what I discovered is that my crew and what we do here doesn't enable me to feel burnt out because we've dialed in our process. We've dialed in our system. So I went back to that and made that effective. That allowed me to sleep a little earlier. I would go to bed at midnight now, as opposed to staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, like rolling around. But so there was that piece. And then it was like, who do I want to be in this world? So I discovered, and the win that I had was like, look, I'm on my own journey right now. You are on your own journey right now. What every other entrepreneur or big influencer that you follow is telling you to do, they're on their own road. And they just are a little bit further down that road than you are, or maybe not. I mean, I've seen people that have 1 million followers, they have no money, they have no business. And I'm like, okay. So you can't get caught up in the vanity number because that vanity number may not mean anything at all, right? It's like, do you have a team? Do you have a process? Do you deliver? Do you do sales calls? Do you follow up? Like, what is that? So when I started to look at that whole situation and really say to myself, well, I've got my own system. I'm an operator. I'm running something. I'm building something. It kind of gave me this sense of consolation of like, oh, well, you're Robert Syslo. This is this person. This is this person. This is this person. Why are you feeling like you're less than because this person's doing something over here? And so what I had to do, and when I had that thought, I was like, oh, well, if I take care of me, if I work really hard, if I'm helping the people that I'm working with and I'm really doing a good job with that, then this is where this kind of comes into play, where it's just something that's super effective, right? And it's no longer about, well, what is my role? My role is my role. My role is my road. That's the role. I'm on my road right now. Do I know where the road is going? Somewhat. Do I have targets and goals and dreams I'm trying to reach at the end of that road? For sure. Do I want to get there faster than I am now? Absolutely. Do I know what the answer to that question is? Not yet, but I'm working on it. So that's really the name of the game that we're playing here, is just where is this actually going and how are we going to arrive? So when I took the time to really put focus back in on me, even with the instability of the election, and looking at some entrepreneurs and business owners, chapter 100, I'm on chapter 5, right? I had to really stop and not get caught up in that and just go back to the basics, go back to good sales, making 6+ figures a month and being like, wow, that's really good, considering what's going on out there today, considering all of the things that are happening, right? So for me, it just came back to a simple thing. Do I get the job done? Yeah. Am I ethical? Yeah. Do I do a good job? Yeah. If I don't do a good job, do I fix it? Yeah. So what is there to be really upset about? Do I want hundreds of millions of dollars? For sure. And I'm getting there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get a jet. I'm going to have those things. Where I was when I started my company when I was 30 years old versus where I am now at 36, it's an entirely different experience. I went through COVID. I've gone through one of the largest economic pullbacks that's still occurring, one of the largest periods of time of uncertainty, doubt, and I'm still making it go right because I just go back to the simplistic basics. I don't get distracted by the new shiny AI thing. I don't get distracted by the new thing. I only focus on what is actually producing today and how is that actually producing today? Because if I try to go after every new thing that goes out there, I never get good at anything. And I think a lot of people, even myself, can get pulled off of our attention and our road and say, well, I want to go here. But it's like, that may not be the right path to take right now. That may not be the right thing to do. That may not be the correct angle to go with. And so for me, just kind of coming back to that basic medium of just what is my role in life and where do I want to take my company? There are people that are out there that are not operators that are telling people to do things that never ran a business before. There are also people out there that have run businesses and are operators and they're winning. Those are the guys you want to listen to. Like, do they have a business? You know, are they actually doing what they're saying they're doing? Are they actually following up those things and making those things happen? Because if they're not, you know, that's a different game. Like, is that guy on the phone? Like, what is the experience? You know, and then there's entrepreneurs out there that tell you like, well, I want to work on the business, not in the business. Well, you have to scale your business to get there. Like, you're only seeing the shiny metal glowing piece that's really attractive. You're not seeing all the work that they put in for 10 to 15 years. I know a guy lives over here in the Porsche building. Him and his wife in real estate, they're worth 150 million now. For 15 years, they were not. At the end of the 15th year is when it went for them. So it's like, now we see the shiny object, but it's like the 15 years before that, I know for a fact that it was really hard for them. I know for a fact that it was painful for them, right? So I guess why I'm saying this is because I've just been very astute and observational on what I see out there in the marketplace versus what's real. And a lot of people don't make that discernment. They just kind of get sucked into the noise. They get sucked into the experience and they say, oh, I want to play with that. I want to do this. I want to go down that road. I want to become this thing. It's like, yeah, that's great. But we also want to make sure that it actually makes sense to do, right? And you can't let that affect your path and your road that you're on. That's the big lesson, the big takeaway that I'm talking about here. Is like, just because it looks good doesn't mean it is. Just because someone's firing doesn't mean they're actually firing, right? It's with the assault of content. And I'm in the content space, and I think there's a very good, healthy place for content. But there is an assault on it. You're assaulted every second you pick up that phone with material, with another ad. I was on Facebook the other day, and it was like 3 posts ad, 3 posts ad, 3 posts ad, 3 posts ad. Like, the amount of ads that were coming in were incredible. By the way, if you don't want specific types of ads, you can go into your personal Facebook profile, select your own advertising preferences, and Meta will actually give you an entire list of everything that you've been selected for advertising, for being, that it thinks you want to receive ads on, and you can delete those things and never get ads on those things again. Now, they'll come back if you do something, but I figured that out. I was like, why am I getting ads about this? Why am I getting ads about other ad agencies? I don't need ads about other ad agencies. So I removed it. I don't get them anymore. Anyway, the point of the matter is like, you can't let the shiny thing or what you think is going on affect your path and stray you from it. All right, so I hope this helps. A quick little state of Syslo. I'll get you another one here later this week. Hope you're doing awesome. Talk soon.